Welcome, Pierre. So wonderful to see you. It's been a little while and you're looking very well and you've obviously had a great summer. Tell me what you guys are doing at InCountry.
So InCountry has built a network of sites that are enabling companies to localize their data to meet compliance regulations around data localization. So in some countries, there are requirements to store citizen data in the country, whether it's health or payments, transactions, employee, or personal data. And we make that easy for developers to deliver on that.
Fabulous. And what's your personal feeling about what's the major issues about digital security and digital identity at the moment?
Yeah, in digital identity, I think there's been a lot of rehashing of old ideas, and that's still been challenging. The digital identity space is very complicated, which is why we can have an event like this tonight. I think it's going to start to move towards the notion of authentication rather than identification. And there's a guy named Steve Wilson from a consulting firm called Constellation Research. And he's really done a lot of work on this area. And I think he's a guy worth looking into and following because he's been doing this since 1995, wow, which just tells you how long these issues have been around. Yeah. The blockchain has brought this back to the fore, but it's not bringing the identity people to a better place. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I just had two SIM swaps within 2 weeks in July, and it certainly brought it home personally to me. And then a panelist from New York, she was also SIM swapped soon after me. So,
oh my God.
So it's like pretty scary. Not that I lost any money, or she didn't either, but just having someone all of a sudden I was chucked off the network, the T-Mobile network, and it was like someone could just take over everything I had on that phone. Absolutely. It was very scary.
This is really hard. And I think that, look, at the end of the day, a lot of the issues around identity are around how companies rely on the information they get and what information they require in order to do a transaction with someone. And that's the authentication piece I was talking about, is the need to figure out what are the right things to authenticate, yes, versus the things that are not as useful. Yeah.
And just relying on a cell phone is crazy, but yet it seems to still be happening.
Valuable, yeah.
So what's your personal vision of where you think we're going with all of this?
Well, I think as people begin to understand the problem a little more deeply, we'll start to realize that it's not about one solution to solve all the problems. It's not about one identity that I can use in everything I do. There's a lot of talk about that direction. I'm not convinced that's where it's going to happen. I think we'll just begin to understand the problem better for each of the relying parties, whether it's your government, whether it's a bank, whether it's a merchant, whether it's just a person you want to interact with. We'll start to figure out what each individual solution looks like, and that's what we'll start to manifest.
Let's hope we do it soon.
I agree with you.
Thanks so much for coming, and I'm sure it'll be a great panel.
I'm looking forward to it.